Grid Metals really got going on lithium exploration just under 2 years ago. We started drilling on our project in Manitoba in January of 2022. And, we think there's, a great opportunity in the next 5 years in the business. We believe in the general trend for lithium, and there's our view is that you see trading companies like Glencore, Trafigura getting into the business because they see the chance to make above normal profits in the next 5 years, with the industry really in a formative stage. We are targeting production from our Donner Lake project, by the end of 2025 or beginning of 2026, which would be one of the next lithium producing projects in Canada. We have an initial resource which is open for expansion. It's about 1.4%, just under 7 million tons. And we have the next belt down in the area, which is the Falcon West belt, which is a highly prospective greenstone belt. One of the big differentiators for Grid is we have two processing options. So it depends on where you are in Canada, but it can take up to 10 years to get a new mine permitted and constructed. And we have an MOU with an existing lithium producer, the Tanko mine, which has been producing off and on since 1968. And we just recently acquired a gold mill that's within trucking distance of our resource. So we have a permitted gold mill, which we just completed a study on reconfiguring for lithium. Our market cap is just under $20 million. We have some good shareholders. Lithium Royalty Corp was an original shareholder. And then we financed about a year ago out of Australia with a group, AMCI Group, which is a private equity group that operates a number of producing mines around the world. Primero Engineering, which is the premier process engineer for lithium projects around the world. And then Red Cloud has helped us finance over the years as well. Our senior management team, myself, Dave Peck, came over to us from North American Palladium after the sale to Impala Platinum. Brandon Smith was joined us from Cormark. He was a lithium analyst there and liked our project and came over. And Kerry Galaszczuk has been a lithium geologist for a number of years in Manitoba and has written a number of papers. So we have a good technical team. And we just added Pat Murphy and Grant McAdam, and Pat's a financial guy based out of Sydney, and Grant McAdam is an analyst with Warsaw Capital here in Toronto. Manitoba is, we think, a really good place to develop. It's an established critical metals producer. It's a gateway into the U.S. It has excellent infrastructure. Our project is really well serviced from infrastructure and good ESG credentials. All the power in Manitoba, I think it's 98% is hydroelectric. And they just changed governments with a new NDP government, but we saw as a very good sign they changed the name of the Economic Development Ministry to add natural resources. So they seem very keen on critical metals and developing that as a source of revenue for the project. Our lithium projects, you can see the capital of Winnipeg. We have the Donner Lake project is about a 2-hour drive, so I always say it's similar to having a development project in Collingwood from Toronto. It's serviced by road. We're about 35 kilometers from the producing Tanko mine. And we've acquired the True North Mill, which is about 80 kilometers north of Donner Lake, where we have our resource. And then to the south, we have the Falcon West greenstone belt and our project there. The Tanko pegmatite, Burnick Lake pegmatite, and just quick disclaimer here, I'm not a geologist, so don't hold that against me, but Tanko and Greenbushes were two of the original major pegmatite discoveries in the world. Tanko is about a 50 million ton, highly fractionated, one of the most highly fractionated pegmatites in the world. Over the years, they produced tantalum, hence the name Tanko. They have a cesium formate plant. Cesium as a metal only precipitates out in the most evolved pegmatites. And so this is a really world-class greenstone belt for lithium and rare metals. Falcon West is the next greenstone belt south, and we acquired the whole belt, including about a 1 kilometer area with really great, really interesting drill results, and very importantly, really high-grade cesium and tantalum values as well. We own 75% of the project. Here's one of the drill intercepts. Our initial resource, 6.8 million tons. It's from 2 dikes drilled down to about 300 meters. These are extremely consistent. They're vertically oriented. You can see the pegmatite it's white, and surrounding rock is black. So very easy to mine. We have an agreement with the First Nation exploration agreement. We're working on our advanced exploration permit to put these 2 dikes into production. They're open at depth. There's the timeline. I'm just going to skip forward to the True North Mill, which we acquired. This is about 80 kilometers north. There's a road that goes up there. It's a fully integrated, permitted gold mine with tailings. And we just completed an engineering study. Primero, CapEx to convert this plant will be about $50 million, including $10 million contingency. And they also outlined the project, the processing cost. The flotation circuit is brand new. Grinding facility very good. The ball mill is very good. And we don't think there's any, according to Primero, technical challenges. So this project would produce about 70,000 tons of lithium spodumene, which today, if we were producing even in today's market, we think would be worth from $400 to $500 million market value. And from a 20 million market cap, that's really the value proposition for us. We also are in discussions with Tanco. There's a picture there of their 200,000 ton per annum plant. And we're discussing with them also supplying feed for that, which would be more attributable production for us. The deal we're talking about there is splitting the profits. Tanco doesn't have enough ore to supply their current mill. And we have a dedicated field team that's been working for 2 years. We're using detailed litho geochem. We've come up with a number of targets that we'll be drilling this winter. So we've been very consistent to keep the exploration going in the area. The Falcon West project I talked about, again, this is about a 70-kilometer belt. We have some really interesting drill results. There's a 250,000-ton historical resource in this Lucy Core area. Most of those drill holes are within about 30 meters of surface. What we think is interesting here is that because we have, in the case of Falcon West, to be able to access the Tanco mill, our hurdle rate for something that's economic will be much lower. We don't need, we just need enough, to supply 200,000 tons a year to start and generate cash flow. So we think that, many projects in Canada that are under production that right now, that the timeline is from 7 to 12 years. We hope to be one of the next producing lithium projects in Canada, but also Falcon West gives us the opportunity for real scale blue sky potential, and we look forward to getting in and doing some exploration on this belt. We just actually completed our consultation with our 4 different First Nations, and we've just been awarded our permit, so we're pretty happy with that. That's a really key thing, I think, in Canada as a jurisdiction. Where you are really, it varies, and having the First Nation in your area or First Nations behind your project, we think gives you a real chance at getting in production, and that varies by province and by area. So that's been a real focus for us. We think that if you look at some of the case studies of juniors that have gotten in production, and I'll point here to Sigma, Core, Sayona. Even today, with their market caps halved, the market caps of these companies when they get into production has dramatically increased. And if you look at a company like Core Lithium, I think their first resource they came out with was around 3 million tons. They're going to produce around 85,000 tons of spodumene concentrate next year, compared to our forecast of about 70,000. Their market cap is still about 800 million Australian. And so we think what the trick is, in this cycle, get into production, make some money, continue exploration, grow the business. And for us, that's really focusing on Southeast Manitoba. And so there's, real upside in executing the strategy. So, people ask me, why is your company where it is? Well, we just recently announced that we're going ahead with the True North Mill. The next activity for us is going to be to come out with a PEA, and we hope to have that done by the end of February. And that'll provide metrics for our project. We think it's going to be extremely robust. The first number of years will be for open pit material. And the value of the rock even today is about $400 Canadian for open pit, which per ton, which is quite high. The nice thing again about producing lithium as a metal is that it does not generate acid rock drainage. So it's much simpler than base metals, and we think that's going to be in our favor as well going forward in terms of the permitting. So, we see really excellent chance for re-rating of our company going forward. And, for us as a management team, it's really all about executing now, going through the studies and permitting. And as I mentioned, we have an advanced exploration permit that's currently in front of the government right now. In Manitoba, an advanced exploration permit enables you to put in roads, upgrade the roads, infrastructure, buildings, and take a bulk sample, and it's really the first precursor to mining. And we have that permit in now, and we're into the detailed discussions with the government. So we're really finding out what the permitting regime is like in Manitoba, applicable to our project in real time. So there's always going to be real challenges, but we're optimistic that we can get this through. And then our next step would be to apply for a mining permit, and we can do that starting next year. We'll be working on that. So we think that that's a great strategy. The company actually got into lithium because we had an advanced nickel copper project in the area right next door to our lithium assets. We actually acquired the lithium assets from Tanco to do base metal exploration. And we have about a 40 million ton resource there, open pitable, good grade, copper nickel. We've done lots of metallurgy. This is an asset that we're not doing anything right now, but we will do more work on in the future when the time is right. But for us, we really view the opportunity is our lithium project, and we think it's in my 25 years in the business, this is the first time I can see a real path to the goal line for a project that has the opportunity to get over the goal line. There just aren't that many lithium projects that are coming on in the next few years in North America, so we think it's a real opportunity for our company. Just to summarize, since we started, we've in the last 18 months, we've come up with a good quality resource with excellent grade. We've acquired a belt scale greenfields project in the same area with excellent drill results, great infrastructure. The Trans-Canada Highway goes right through that property, Falcon West. So we're pretty excited about that. So we've got the stake in terms of the production, and the sizzle in terms of the upside potential in exploration in the same area. And we have two milling options, with the mill that we've acquired and also the potential to mill material with Tanco. And we have upside optionality from our copper nickel assets. So we will be back drilling again this winter, both at Donner Lake and Falcon West. We're going to working towards our bulk sample permit for Donner Lake, and our studies next year, and really defining the project economics and getting that project well down the line towards production next year is going to be key for us.